Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Lifetime Training Podcast. Today, I am very excited to bring you Miss Jeimy Bueno Prisby, international speaker, elite performer at Lifetime, master trainer, studio manager, where you can see her live in Westchester County at the clubs there. And she may bounce around a little bit. I don't know. We'll get into that later. Amazing. She's had an amazing career with Zumba, is one of their top performers. And has just done a ton of things. And she has found her way into Lifetime and has been with us for a while, working with one of the best general managers. I got to throw it out there, Miss Susan Mystery, who's a good friend and an old colleague. So I got to throw that props out there. Welcome to the show, and so thankful that we've got this in.
Thank you so much. I am super excited, nervous, you name it. I'm so honored and privileged to be part of your show.
No problem. And likewise back at you. So, you've got an amazing story, and that's what these episodes, are really about is for you to tell your story on how you've been able to create a career. I always say a career you can retire from in health and fitness, which is unheard of, which people never even thought of. And still people don't even think of it as. So, I'm going to turn it over to you and I'd love for you to tell everybody, how did you get started and bring us up to, right before the point at which you started with Lifetime?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to tell my story. It's really a turn of events that were not planned. I came to the US at the age of 21 with a master's in physical therapy. So I was actually hired by a private rehabilitation company to be a physical therapist because they need a bilingual, and I am trilingual, English, awesome. Spanish, and Portuguese. And I found my opportunity into the field of rehabilitation. I was in a clinical setting, supervising and treating patients for about 10 years with the company. The contract was supposed to be 3, and they renewed it 3 times over because they were really happy with my work ethics and the success of the company. And during that time, I was already, in the medical field through fitness and rehabilitation. So I always loved movement. Yeah. Side note, I actually started in med school, and then I went to the dean and I said, I know my father, may he rest in peace, wanted me to be a physician because my older sister my youngest brother is a physician. But I wanted to heal, not from a perspective of tools or prescriptions or consultation. It was from the movement side of it. So that's my discovery at 17. Transcending into that, being a 21-year-old, leaving everything behind, the entire family behind, and go to another country. I found myself working several hours and not finding time for myself. So I had to dedicate the little extra time for my workouts at home. And then I was invited to start taking these dance classes, which I loved in the city, but I wasn't often had the time. And then I stumped into Zumba. I absolutely loved it. One of my assistants invited me to, and then it was dance, it was cardio, it was perfect for me. So that was my happy hours in the weekend. Awesome. And then from there, oh my goodness, there was a no-show instructor, and I knew the routines. And there we go. So after that, I got immediately like, oh, would you like to work here? I'm like, I have a career in physical therapy, so no, but thank you. I feel very flattered. I am a front row diva. I'm a member. This is not how it's gonna go. And then for a year, I've just been playing around, like, should I do it? And then one of my best friends who went to the dance school that I was in the Dominican Republic, I was part of the dance program in the university. She's like, you totally can make this happen. And then it transitioned from working 60-hour week as a physical therapist and teaching 1 Zumba class. And then it was 50, and then 2-3 Zumba classes. And then, let me get certified in psycho. I really like rhythm ride. And then I just got coached and in practice. And then it was like, maybe I can take an extra day off. And then, so from that, it was a happy medium of I sneezed, I found myself a Lifetime, and 17 classes later,
oh, that's awesome.
Teaching and also part-time physical therapy. And then at that time, I part ways with the company. But a little bit before that contracted me to physical therapy. They relocated So it was perfect timing. So I found my passion through movement, and now it just transcended to fitness.
Awesome. Well, and then obviously, you are one of the faces at Lifetime of, Zumba and cycle. And God, when I was lucky enough to take a class, or I think two different ones, and wow, it was amazing. And not many people better. And not to say I got to dust it off, because I used to teach way back in the day as well. I actually met my wife
Oh
in
yeah,
my
Susan
class.
told me about that. We need to go teach sometime.
Back before we had like MP3, I had my computer, and I was just throwing songs up because I used to DJ. So it's such so fun, so fun. So now you've done so much. Obviously, prior to Lifetime, I believe, with Zumba, and then you've really become one of the faces of Zumba. So I'd love for you to talk about that before we dive into the Lifetime side of it, and just what have you done with Zumba, and things like being on the new Nintendo game, and God, that stuff is great. So, I'd love for you to share your thoughts there.
Absolutely. I have been absolutely blessed to call Zumba a career, but it's a passion. So it's like a beautiful blend.
Mm-hmm.
From the moment that I started teaching and getting really invested into be the best instructor I can be, and not only from the dancer standpoint, it was from changing people's lives standpoint, making them smile, making them feel what I feel when I dance. I've been a Zumba instructor for 10 years now. And over the past 3 years, Zumba has taken interest and had given me opportunities. I'm extremely grateful. I actually get emotional thinking about it, that for 7 years, I was a backup dancer of the same workshop called Caribbean Heat by Armando and Haiti. They were my mentors in Zumba. And I remember dancing in the front row, again, front row diva. And I'm looking at the stage, and I'm looking at this grandiose 8,000 people. And I'm like manifesting. And I said, I am going to be there. I am going to work hard. I'm going to be there. So going from that into Zumba invited me to do different things, working with Zumba Wear, be featured in some videos for education. And then it just transcending into, would you like to be part of the presenters at the Zumba convention, presenters at the Zumba cruise, Zumba vacation in France, fitness concert, which is the biggest concert that we do in Zumba once a year. And hopefully we do it very soon. When this clear up, and they only choose 12 in the world.
Oh, congrats.
So I have met my best friends from all around the world in 2018 from that, and Lifetime was a integral part of that growth, because they allowed me to be the studio manager. I was supported by my assistant studio manager. I was supported by my team. I was supported by my GM. So Susan made those pivots because she knew that the elite performer not only is honoring a tier on a piece of paper, is also allowing you to fly so you can represent. And then we can go back in a day like today that I can transmit classes on the digital platform, even if it's a couple of years later. Yeah. And they don't have to do the back end work like, okay, we don't know anybody globally. Well, now you do. Yeah. So now we can just put it in there. And Zumba, Nintendo game, clothing. I did classes with amazing people, like the foundation with Si Se Puede, from the Latinas, from Eva Longoria. Like it's just super, super, super amazing to impact people through dance.
Well, and it's crazy because people know the name Zumba, obviously. But if you look at the size, like you said, they have their own cruise, they have their own concert, they have their own clothing line, they have their own record, distributing, I believe, music. It's crazy. I would say probably the biggest fitness trend out there. I mean, honestly, still, ever. And I don't think some people quite realize how vast it is and how big they are.
Yeah, just to give you some statistics, prior to the pandemic, there was an approximate in the gym setting, outdoor, or even private classes, there were about 110 million people a week taking a Zumba class.
That's amazing.
And we are in 125 countries.
That is amazing. So that's awesome. Well, you mentioned a couple things in there. Obviously, you're the studio manager, so you're managing, everything from Yoga Cycle, all the different Group X classes at the Westchester. But you mentioned something called the Elite Performer, and I think it's super important for people to understand that this is an avenue to get varying different levels of people that have influence, that have a following, to get in and have an opportunity to work for us. So would you take us through what those, obviously it leads to the top and there's a couple in between, but I'd love for you to share that information so people out there know, hey, this is something that I might qualify for and I might be able to do the same thing that Jamie's doing.
Absolutely. I think that everybody has a magnificent opportunity to become the very best that they can be. Um, Again, quoting my dad, he's my biggest mentor.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sell oranges, be the elite orange seller. So for me, that was always a standard that it was there. Not for a checkbox standpoint, but it was from an inspirational standpoint. Performer for us, and rather than call him an instructor, which is a correct term, but for LifeTime, we want to give the actual respect that we deserve as performers. We're performing, we're on a stage, we are giving educational content, but most importantly, is entertaining, as you know, in our mission.
Yep.
So if we're going to be entertaining, then we're performers. At that level, you can be a performer that it has a couple of years in the making, you have your certifications, you're up to date, and you teach a class that is great content, people have a good time, have a great workout, great sweat, and it's towards their healthy and happy life. And then you have a premier performer that comes into the mix of, you can have him at the local New York area, you can have him as a guest into the New York, New Jersey, perhaps Boston. He can transcend in, and is a person that has a very, very vast knowledge of the fitness industry, years in the making of their craft, and people recognize the name, recognize their work. Elite performer is more of a national level. No matter what LifeTime club you're going to hit, and you're going to present, and you're going to impact with your knowledge and your classes, you are recognized as a figure that exceed the standards, that creates an experience beyond the class, and that can make it happen at the national level. And I've been fortunate enough that at an international level,
Yep.
I am also.
Well, and and I think it leads into longevity in the careers, which is an episode that I launched when this airs probably a week or so ago with Rob Glick, and we talked about the importance of creating that community and that connection. And obviously I've said it then and I'll say it again, is when I taught my spin class, there were 40 people in it. And if I said, we're going to do head spins, get off the bike, I think everybody would just jump off the bike and do it. And I'm not saying, I'm using that as a joke. But at the end of the day, the connection that's there is like nothing else. And obviously you've created a ridiculous connection over many different platforms. And, I'd love for you to talk to the audience, putting you on the spot on this one a little bit, of, what you do to create that and how you've been able to create and grow that.
Well, first and foremost, you got to leave your ego at the door. You have to understand that you are important and that you matter, but you can be indispensable in this industry when we're creating and fabricating so much content on social media platform right now. So it's beyond a face, it's beyond a look, it's beyond what comes out of your mouth. It has to be visceral. It has to come from your heart. It has to come from a place that is going to touch alive, not because you're going to make them lose weight or they like the song. It's just, what did the song signifies? How are you going to pair that with the story that you're telling in your class? How is the modification option of exercises or the whole programming? How do you take in consideration every age, every functional level of that group of members who are taking your class? You have to take all that. So that's why it's a performer. It's a performance. It comes from the music, the story, the planning, the dedication, and coming from a place of love. If you don't love what you do and you're doing this for money, go sell cars. You don't have to deal with people, or
Mhm.
go sell or work on behind a computer. You don't have to deal with the emotions of the people. So you have to be that relator.
Yep.
Um, it's not just the music that you like. It's not
Yeah.
just the programming that you like. It's bringing it together
Yep.
to not appeal the masses. It's just to bring that love to life. Love for
Yeah.
what you do.
Well, and one of the things I want to call out, I was just, kind of creeping you a little bit on Facebook as I was getting, or Instagram prior, getting ready for this episode, I can say. And just you mentioned the love and the connection, and the thing I'll pull out, I think you posted it yesterday or the day before, where you were teaching a class. There was an older lady with a shield on. I don't know if that was a relative of yours or not, but you brought her to the front. You were doing the hearts with her, obviously the COVID hugs, which is, not hugging, but, doing the hug. And it was just it was inspiring. And it was exactly what you just said. And, who was that by way, was that somebody you just pulled up, or was it somebody that you know?
No, this is my special lady, Elizabeth. She is a family by membership.
Got it. Yeah.
She's a lifetime member. She has been taking my Zumba classes for 7 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Her story is remarkable. She used to love to dance with her husband, and her daughter 7 years ago bought her a membership and say, "Mom, I want you to dance again." And she stumbled into my class, and ever since then, we have become very close. And that was her favorite song. It is her favorite song, and it's called Love. So a couple of years ago, we did that song together, and we did a piece for Lifetime, Healthy Happy Life, and
Yeah.
it went viral because we did the choreo next to each other.
Yeah.
And then we're both going through very, very hard challenges and losses in life at this particular time. So I know what she was feeling. I know when I heard the song, when I put it in my playlist, and it was not planned. I just opened up my arms and I just said, "Come over." And she hesitated because she knew what she was going through. And it just happened. She did it. We looked at each other's eyes. The mask, like I put it in my post, hearts don't have masks. So our hearts were just pouring out.
Yeah.
I absolutely lost it. I went to my knees because I couldn't stop crying. Not only, it was not about reminiscing the old time, it was about, in spite of it all, we only love, and I'm giving you love right now. You're giving me love back. And even though I cannot hug you, we're right next to each other. We're standing by each other. And that is something that I am so grateful that Lifetime has its doors opens in New York, that we
Yeah.
follow all the CDC guidelines, the Board of Health guidelines. And then I am very, very fortunate that she trusts us and our enhanced cleaning protocol and everything
Yeah.
that Lifetime has been doing, for her to come, take the class, dance, and we can heal together.
Yeah.
So that's what was
And
happening.
the beauty to Jeimy, and I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but I can just tell when I've asked superstar performers and people who do this at a very, very high level, what do you do? Like, what are the things? And so many of them have a hard time taking the small little itty bitty details that you just were able to provide around connection and love and heart, and be able to explain that. And because then I know you can teach that. And obviously whoever is underneath you in your program obviously gets to understand those things. Obviously, whether they take those things and build that skill is on them. But to be able to reproduce exactly what you've done is I think a huge gift. And obviously I think Susan has saw that in you, as well as we all have, to be able to help pass that down, which is fantastic. So thank you for that as well. Obviously you found your way to Lifetime now, and when did you say, I could do this and it could be my full-time gig? Like, what was that turning point, and when did you kind of realize that?
Well, I had three big moments with three Lifetime leaders at that time. So the first one, it was Mr. E. Fonda.
Yep.
secret shop my class when I was not here. When I was teaching in another facility, and then we started off magnificent, very respectful, very joyful conversation. I love the energy. Later on, we find out that we are on the same week of a birthday. Myself, him, Jerry, and Baram. We're like one after the other, like 26, 27, 28. Like we're all on that same.
Nice.
So I felt the energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about that for me.
Yeah.
I felt the energy, and it was quite positive. And he left his card, and he's like, if you ever change, he said to me, would you like to check it out? We're a new company. And I said, I feel very flattered, but I am happy where I am. And he said, if you ever want to be happier, not just when you're not, then just check us out. And we left it at that. Yep. Second encounter was,
he's the smoothest, by the way. It's just, he's going to slide that.
I love him. I love him so much. He is, I can't, him and Jerry, love him. Second encounter was my manager at that time in that other company goes and chooses LifeTime as a manager here at Westchester. And then I guess she connected with him, and he said, you have to. And then she connected with me, and she said, I think you should check it out. It would be really happy. And I said, you know what? Let me just walk by this magnificent company that I never heard of. Yeah. And let me, I love it. I mean, at 21, I moved to this country with the clothes in the back of and then my title, my degree. So why not? Let me just check it out. And I was absolutely blown away by the friendliness, the loving, how big, but at the same time, how small and how personal was the way that I was treated. Yeah. And that was a turning point when I said, okay, I would love to teach here. Yes, I accept the offer. Third turning point. My leader at that time, Penny, which I call it mom. She was like the mom of any of us here. She had to relocate. She decided to relocate to be closer to her family. And she relocated with LifeTime at that time. So she just randomly called me. She said it was not random. For me, it was random. She called me. She's like, I think you can be a terrific leader. And I was just caught by surprise. And I said, wait, what, you leaving me? And she's, open heart. And she said, I think you should apply it. I said, Mom, not for nothing. I'm a physical therapist. I have a full-time job. I'm okay. I don't know anything about administrative budgeting, anything that you deal with. And she called me. I know she's going to hear this episode. So she called me the body of a goddess, the hand of a servant, and the heart of gold. So she said, this is all you need to do this job. I'm like, okay. So she convinced me to apply. The third person and final was Susan. Susan's interview was inspiring. And that's when I realized I have a career, a lifetime. Awesome. I have a longevity. Yep. Love, life, balance with my happiness with LifeTime.
That's fantastic. And it is, obviously it was similar, when I started, it was, there was only 30 clubs, and it was the second one in Illinois. I remember driving by it, and I remember laughing because at the time I was working at a small personal training studio, and this guy who was working at LifeTime, who, ended up coming and working at the studio as well. It was about probably 35 miles away from each other. He comes walking in with I don't know if you knew this, but we had denim, like long sleeve denim uniforms. Like they were denim button-ups with khakis.
You can have a picture. I have never seen this.
Oh yeah. That was the first. And it had like the logo here, and it was it was in Chicago, even in the heart of the summer, we're wearing khakis and long sleeve denims, and we're like sweating. And we're like, I looked at him going, before, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? Like, you got to be kidding me. And then probably about 4 or 5 months later, I ended up driving by the place and going, oh my God, what is that? And then I went in and, that was my kind of starting point. And Fonda did my new hire training. So
there you go. Now we're connected. There you go.
Yep. So that's great. So, some other things that I would love for you to talk to the audience about, obviously, is, I always say that our toughest times define us and you know, create who we become and what we learn, as long as we take the time to use it as a learning experience. What can you share were some of the toughest times, or the toughest time that really has led you to really being, you know, who you are today and where you've gotten today?
Um, uh, well, letting go of everything I knew to pursue a career and a new life at 21, that was one of the toughest decision that um, that I made. I was fully supported by my family, and they knew that I was going the the proper way with all the hard work that they did to educate me, um, to find the American dream.
And
So
and and so that was, and just so I'm in the audience knows, this was when you left,
the
was
Dominican
it
Republic.
Dominican, and then moved directly to New York?
I moved to Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay.
The rehabilitation center. It was in Connecticut.
Got it.
So that's first toughest point at 21. Now at 38, it was as recent as 2.5 months was losing my father.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
Um, thank you. So my father was everything to me. My best friend, um, my mentor. Uh, they used to call him the drill sergeant. Never went to the army or anything like that, but he was very, very strict, and very radical, and he knew that. But he said that it was a necessary evil to bring the best out of his children, to be strict when nobody else cared about the minimal of details. And that was a tough point. He was diagnosed with ALS later in the stages of ALS. Unfortunately, because with the pandemic, it was very hard to trying to rule out why was he losing his breath, his muscle, and
Yeah.
it helped with my sister being a neurologist and my brother being a geriatric specialist and me being a physical therapist. We put our brains to the max, trying to diagnose FaceTime and sending them to doctors. They were a friend of ours, like, okay, you got to go to,
Yeah.
please make an exception. Can you please do an electoral test, electromyography, this test? No, with COVID, it's very hard right now. We're only accepting this and we're begging so we can find a diagnosis. So turning point for the past 3 months is just see him from this amazing, moving soul, body, voice to lose him and having to every day live with him in my heart, but not able to hear his voice, not able to check on him. I think that was an absolute turning point of growth.
Yeah.
And lastly, on top of all that, while he was going through that, um, I went for a second opinion on continue to grow my family, and then into a second opinion because I have absolutely no symptoms. It was discovered that I myself had a tumor in my ovary,
Oh,
benign. We come to find out, the fact that I
right.
am healthy through the LifeTime way helped me to recover and be sitting on this chair 3.5 weeks later and telling you I'm back
Wow. Yeah.
training slowly on the legs, a little bit more
Yeah.
on the upper body, back teaching on the bike, now
Yeah.
all the resistance and pushing water, up the wazoo, shaking it on Zumba.
But you know, what's cool, I mean, not cool, what's amazing there is the knowledge that you have to be able to do that, because there's so many people that when they're as active as you are, they go through surgery and they get done and they start to feel a little bit better, and then boom, they just jump right back in, and it, you know, it's a
I would have done
massive
that.
thing.
I
Yeah.
would have, hold on a second. I would have done that. But I have a system
Yeah.
of my team. As soon as they see me over, they're like,
Yeah.
no.
Uh-huh.
And I have my coach, my personal training, my personal trainer, Dan. His programming is stellar,
That's cool.
to ensure that I don't really damage the internal healing that I still have to do and not permit scar and tissue happening.
Yeah.
My husband in itself, pump the brakes, take it easy, my love. It's going to be okay. I love you. And I'm like, it's not about being physically fit. It's just, I want to feel the way I am, the way I know I can be. Susan as well. She took a picture of me earlier because I finally had a pedicure. She's like, I got it. I don't remember ever seeing you sitting down, relaxing. Hold on a second. I got to take a picture.
Well, know, and again, I'm going to take it here because I think, in group exercise, the passion and the love is there, if you've taught for a while, and what you guys do day in and day out, some of you guys teaching so many classes, it could borderline on excessive stress, right? Physical stress that could then lead to other things. And, maybe that was your dad saying, that, hey, slow down just a little bit here to move forward. Because I honestly, I lost my father. I moved to Minnesota for LifeTime and I lost him a month later. And this is almost 10 years ago now. And, he has been with me and I know that your father will always be with you. And there's been signs all over the place. And I don't believe in coincidence that will continue to come. I know you teach yoga and do yoga. So your awareness and mindfulness,
not yet.
Yeah.
I'm about to do my 200 hours.
Me too. Maybe we'll do it together.
Managing it. We'll do that together.
Yes. So, well, again, that's tough. And so, grateful that you've been able to learn from those things and you're healthy and moving forward in the right direction, because again, I can't wait to get you on the live stream as well. So I think that's a perfect segue into having you discuss and talk about, what we're doing here at LifeTime to go really international, to go worldwide through our digital and virtual memberships and what's being offered and how you're going to lead, some of the charge there. So I'd love for you to explain that to the audience and talk to us about what's coming.
What's coming is Bahram leading, as he always have, into starting slow and moving fast into the LifeTime way. His vision,
thinking big, right? That's the
he said, think big. But
start small.
Start slow, start small, move fast. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. So what's happening right now is that LifeTime has to be investing their time to creating a platform for live streams. And then we have to make sure that, as big as company as we are, if we're going to go global, we have to hit all the possible challenges and hurdles that it can stop us from there, such as copyright, music licensing, and so forth. So right now, the clubs that have been shut down have been offering live streaming. And then and the clubs that are open, we are having a hub location in each market: New York, California, New Jersey, soon Boston. Minnesota is closed, and I believe Michigan as well. So what is happening is that we're offering our live stream in a studio that is closed. So for example, Studio 2 right now has no classes. So we converted that into our live stream studio. What's going to happen is that the members that have full access are the ones who are taking those classes by our top performers. What's going to happen in February is the transcendent of the vision of Bahram of moving fast. In February, anyone, anywhere of the world, any part of the world, this is when my English and my Spanish get together.
It's all right.
Like the worst.
We still love it though.
And you have no idea what I should say. Like, what did she just say? So in February, you're going to have a global digital membership. It's going to be a digital plus membership for $39. You can have access to the live stream classes. And what that means to any person in the world that loves the brand or does not know the brand and they will love the brand, you can take not only dance, strength, yoga, cycle, you can take them all from all the different markets that we offer. So pick and choose your beautiful energy that drives you into becoming your happy, healthy self through LifeTime. And that platform is going to be available for you.
And again, that is going to be a combo of live instructor that you're, basically able to watch where it's actually happening right now. And then there's obviously the other recorded content that people have access to already, I believe, in the $15 membership.
So the $15 membership is the digital, and the $39 is going to be the digital plus. So the
Okay.
$15 membership is for members that are on hold, which is now have been shifted into digital membership. That is pre-recorded content. They have available curated nutritional content. And absolutely, we have partnered up with Apple Plus.
Yep.
So they have access to the Apple Plus.
But I also believe that a member can actually, or a person can actually just purchase that right now, especially in places where there is no lifetime. I believe they can still do that. So it's on hold. And then there's also the opportunity to do that. And then you're saying in February, we're going to tack on where there's going to be live classes and a host of a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, what we have is some members that are not ready, or in markets that are closed. They have their digital membership, and that offers the pre-recorded, and then all the content as far as nutrition, personal training support, and Apple Fitness Plus. February, you can upgrade to Digital Plus, and that Digital Plus is what's going to offer those anything in the markets of live stream.
That's awesome. And do you have a rough estimate? I mean, how many classes you're going to have access to? I mean, I know there's more than you can get through.
Well, in our schedule, we are projected to have 50 live stream classes a week.
And that's just at your location?
That is just in my location.
And then there's all the other ones, and you have access to whatever instructor.
Absolutely.
That's
so
beautiful.
The goal, Baran's vision is to have 1,000 live streaming classes a week.
That's awesome.
There should be no reason why anyone in the world could not want and need to be a lifetime member.
Yep. And I'm lucky enough. He's going to be jumping on the podcast in 2 weeks. So he'll be able to share his vision right directly from the horse's mouth. So I'm excited.
Thank goodness I am before him. Back to follow.
Yeah. So
he knows I love him. I love him so much.
Mm-hmm. And same goes, and that's, one of the things that I've always talked about, and I'm sure we're going to talk about, is I've worked for several different companies, big health club companies. I've been here for almost 18 years now. And I've never seen a CEO or heard of a CEO that works out, that stays close, teaches cycle still, teaches, his ultra fit class. I mean, it's very, very comforting to know that, pretty much almost the whole executive team, but leading the charge with him and Jeff, that they're that passionate and involved in the fitness side of it, because it very easily goes to membership, which it's obviously a membership business, but they're passionate and care about people like yourself, myself, and the rest of the team that they know are the performers that are actually allowing this business to run. And they see it from that way.
Absolutely. He's leading from the front. And I said it to him many times, and I would say it again so he can listen it to one more time. I run walls for that man.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I told him, I said, I lost my father, but that means that you are my next father. So I just want you to just stay on your toes.
Yeah.
And make us proud. But,
that's awesome.
But he's an undeniable leader of leaders, a visionary, never gives up. And I think that is a quality necessary, not only for an industry the way we are, but in the times that this industry is going through with this times. I think it's imperative to have that kind of leadership skill.
Yep. Well, again, I would love for you to close with, if you have anything else, but this has just been an absolute joy and just a fantastic episode, and have had a bunch of fun, and I can't thank you enough. So anything you have closing to give to the audience before we leave?
I just, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to this amazing time that we have spent together. Likewise. And allowing me to be completely transparent. There's no filter. There's no rehearsal. This is just us having a wonderful conversation. And I just want to close with anybody that is listening. to this episode and the future, that if you are an individual, and no matter what career, what is your aspirational goal, but I would say it from my experience, if you love what you do, you're passionate to what is the purpose of what you do not give up, work hard, stay on your lane, leave your ego at the door, lead with love. And if with all those skills set, you have what it takes to be in a company like LifeTime that is ever evolving, ever absolutely dominating the fitness industry, then start knocking on our doors. We have 150 plus locations. We're going global, and we are a family that is a culture of care, and will grow into anything that you can possibly imagine if you put your hard work to it.
Thank you. And I'm just going to add that caveat is if anybody is interested, please, by all means, I'll put some contact information of sorts for work, and we can put you in charge of our scouting team, which is led by the one and only Mr. Afonda Sproles, who we've talked about. I got to get him on the show at some point. I know I've got Jerry in the queue too. So, but please let us know, and we'd be very, very happy to introduce you, especially during this time when you don't know what's going to happen. But what I can tell you is LifeTime's here to stay, and we will find a way to be bigger and better than we ever were moving forward. So again, Jeimy, thank you so much. This is awesome. Probably going to get you on again at some point to do something, maybe live class or something to that nature. It'll be a blast.
Oh, listen. I am here to stay. So
likewise.
Very honored for your time, and I hope we can connect soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.